Hey, I'm Blair Best. It's Tuesday here on The Story, and tonight, the Multnomah County District Attorney has his own changes in mind when it comes to deflection. That's the option of getting connected to services instead of jail for drug possession. We're live with how he wants to crack down in the new year. Plus, a federal judge says the Coast Guard rescue helicopter must return to the city of Newport as Dungeness crab season approaches. We also have an update on a possible ice facility coming to the central Oregon coast. But first, we're looking at the impact to Oregonians if Affordable Care Act subsidies expire at the end of the year. Now, this was a sticking point of the government shutdown, and we talked one-on-one with an Oregon Health Authority expert on what you should do to prepare. It's our big story tonight. In Beaverton,
we've been out protesting a lot of the things that are going on.
Lisa Stiller leads a community fight for change.
Our goal is to educate voters so when election time comes, they make a wise choice.
She helps organize protests on social issues, most recently, rising healthcare costs.
It's just chipping away at people's pocketbooks a lot.
The Affordable Care Act subsidies are set to expire next month if Congress doesn't extend them.
With the subsidies possibly disappearing, people are going to be having to pay a whole lot more each month. And you're getting a subsidy because you are, low or moderate income anyway. So it stretches your budget. If your subsidy goes up $150, $200 a month, that's $200 less you have to pay for rent.
We talked one-on-one with an Oregon Health Authority expert about this. Start with what exactly are the Enhanced Affordable Care Act tax credits?
Yeah, so premium tax credits were established under the Affordable Care Act, but in 2021, during the COVID-19 pandemic and when the American Rescue Plan Act was signed, Congress expanded financial assistance to more people and also gave more financial assistance to people who were already eligible.
So how many Oregonians currently receive these tax credits, and how many could lose this financial assistance if they expire?
So currently about 80% of marketplace enrollees, which is more than 111,000 Oregonians, are receiving financial help in the form of premium tax credits to help lower their monthly premiums. We estimate that nearly 35,000 people might lose financial help because their incomes are at or above 400% of the federal poverty level, so they would no longer be eligible.
So 35,000 people could lose this financial help.
That's correct.
Do you anticipate that many Oregonians becoming uninsured if these subsidies expire?
Most people are not going without insurance because they're still seeing a value of being covered. So what we're finding is that folks are actually just reducing their plan to a lower coverage tier.
The stalemate in Congress over whether to extend these healthcare subsidies caused the longest government shutdown in U.S. history. Democrats wanted the tax credits extended. Republicans wanted to deal with the issue separate from the government funding bill. Last week, Washington Democratic Congresswoman Marie Gluesenkamp-Perez had this to say about the ongoing debate. Do you see that financial assistance expiring, or do you believe there will be a vote on that as Republicans have promised?
What I've heard in discussions with, or with, secondhand about conversations with insurance executives, they're going to raise premiums. And look, like insurance premiums go up 25% every year. That's one of the reasons that I'm hesitant to say that this is the thing that is worth shutting the government down.
On Tuesday, Oregon Democratic Congresswoman Suzanne Bonamici told KGW.
And the message is getting through. We've had bipartisan conversations about extending the tax credits. I offered an amendment to extend them for 3 years. That didn't pass, but there are conversations about extending these. So I'm extremely concerned about this. I hope there is a vote.
Okay, so if Congress doesn't act and these tax credits expire, what is the estimated increase in monthly premiums for the average Oregonian?
The average loss would be about $960 for a whole year. And that equates to about $127 to $456 per month.
Rural and older Oregonians will feel that the most.
And for seniors, especially seniors who are moderate, low-income seniors, it's again the choice between food and housing.
Okay, so if you rely on Affordable Care Act subsidies and are wondering what to do, well, those at the Oregon Health Authority recommend talking with a state expert to find an affordable option. And that help is free of charge. Open enrollment for Oregon Health Insurance Marketplace runs through January 15th. But if you want your coverage to start on January 1st, the deadline to apply is December 15th. And you can go to OregonHealthcare.gov to learn more and be connected with an expert. But let's turn to the latest in D.C. when it comes to the future of these enhanced tax credits. The White House has said it would issue a new plan as soon as this week, addressing the rising Affordable Care Act premiums. Now, there were reports that President Trump was looking to renew or replace the enhanced premium tax credits. However, that plan was delayed, according to MS Now, formerly MSNBC, after it faced pushback from Republicans. Some Republicans telling reporters they would not be supportive of that plan, including Speaker Mike Johnson, who told CBS News that most House Republicans have, quote, little interest in that idea. We've reached out to Oregon's only Republican member of Congress, Representative Cliff Bentz, to see if he would support extending the subsidies. We have not heard back yet. Okay, but we want to hear from you. Do you rely on these enhanced Affordable Care Act subsidies? Are you one of the 35,000 Oregonians who may no longer qualify? Let us know. We'd love to hear from you. Email us at thestory@kgw.com or call and leave us a voicemail, 503-226-5090. Well, Multnomah County District Attorney Nathan Vasquez said today that the deflection process will soon look different as he calls for accountability in the program that has yielded few results in its first year. This comes just one day after I had Multnomah County Commissioner Shannon Singleton live here on the show to talk about her proposed changes to deflection. You can catch that full segment on the KGW YouTube page. But for details on what the DA will be doing come January, let's bring in Alma McCarty. Alma, you just talked with him a few hours ago. What did he have to say?
Yeah, Blair, as you know, Multnomah County's been operating a deflection program since September of last year, though a report this month found that on average, fewer than 2 people a day were referred to the program. And of those, even fewer actually completed deflection. This afternoon, DA Vasquez told reporters he is not satisfied with what he's seeing, that although the county's had the resources and has invested millions into deflection, the program's lacked meaningful pathways and accountability that people need. So beginning on January 5th, his office will start, quote, demanding accountability. When someone's stopped for possession of controlled substances and taken to the deflection center, it will not end there. The DA's office will be reviewing the reports, seeing if the individual engaged in a meaningful way and followed through when it comes to treatment. If they fail to do so, that person could face criminal penalties.
I think it is incumbent upon our community to try to help provide some of those opportunities, but it's incumbent upon those individuals to really take the steps. And the way I've always approached this is it's a bit of a push and a pull. Yes, we want to help push them to the right direction. We should also be there to pull them up as well.
Now, criminal penalties could either come in the form of a citation to appear at a future court date or a warrant for their arrest. And keep in mind, if someone has an active warrant on their record, they are not eligible for deflection as things stand now. The DA says his office is equipped to follow these cases, saying they're misdemeanors and they're not complex. Blair? Back to you.
Okay, Alma McCarty, thank you. Well, turning now to an update out of the city of Newport along the central Oregon coast. A judge ruled late Monday that the federal government must return a Coast Guard rescue helicopter to the area, at least for the next 2 weeks. It comes just days after Lincoln County and the Newport fishermen's wives sued to get the chopper back. Here's the order from Judge Ann Aiken at the U.S. District Court in Eugene. She granted a temporary restraining order, ordering the feds to not only return the helicopter, but the personnel and infrastructure that go along with it. The judge said those Coast Guard operations must return to the status quo that has been in place in Newport since 1987. Okay, now this is a story we've followed for several weeks now. Around Halloween, the helicopter was moved 70 miles south to North Bend without any public notice, appearing to bypass procedures that were put in place by Congress several decades ago. The move immediately got the attention of local leaders, as well as State Representative David Gomberg, who represents the area, and even Oregon Senator Ron Wyden, who visited Newport this past weekend. The lawsuits were filed last week, leading to last night's order from the judge. Lincoln County and the Newport fishermen's wives argued several points in their lawsuit, but here are the main takeaways. The helicopter was responsible for rescuing around 500 people, including 30 commercial fishermen between 2014 and 2025. When stationed at Newport, the chopper's crisis response time is 15 to 30 minutes, compared to 60 to 90 minutes if stationed in North Bend. And they pointed out just how deadly the Pacific can be, with 44 commercial fishermen dying off of Oregon's coast between 2000 and 2019, including 12 off the coast of Newport. Now, they argued that the upcoming Dungeness crab season is one of the most dangerous times for commercial fishermen. That season is set to begin December 16th, pending some further testing. So how did the feds respond to the lawsuit? Well, according to the judge, they didn't. Judge Aiken writing in her order, the court has not yet been presented as yet with an argument for defendants' countervailing interests in removing the Newport air facility. The court can discern no hardship to defendants in an injunction requiring them to continue operating the Newport air facility as they have for the better part of 4 decades. And DHS did send us a statement this morning that reads, "These efforts to micromanage U.S. Coast Guard operations via lawsuit are completely intrusive, and they obstruct the work of the service's patriotic men and women. The Coast Guard is always ready to respond to search and rescue needs on the Oregon coast, just as it has always been." Newport's mayor and the fishermen's wives praised the ruling, saying that the Coast Guard helicopter is a critical lifeline for the commercial fishing industry on the central Oregon coast. And Newport's mayor also updating the community today on the rumors that an ice facility could be coming to the coastal city. It's an idea that he and many residents oppose. Now, according to a video that the mayor posted on social media today, the group that initially asked about leasing airport property for some kind of federal facility is still working on something in the region.
We confirmed today that Team Housing Solutions has called multiple hotels up and down the coast as recently as this morning, looking for as many as 200 hotel rooms for a year. A U.S. Customs and Border Protection helicopter was spotted over Newport on Friday. It landed at our airport to pay to refuel. It's important to note that since our airport has fuel, the FAA requires us to provide fuel to any aircraft that lands at our airport. The pilot of the helicopter told our staff that they tried to refuel in Tillamook, but there was no one at the airport, so they flew here for fuel. It's also important to note that there are 7 airports in Oregon with fuel options that would have been closer than Newport.
So it appears this issue is far from over. We'll keep you posted. Well, now to the latest in an investigation that we followed here on The Story for years. It's all about a doctor in the state of Washington who during the pandemic was handing out COVID shot exemptions for a price. But now she's been arrested by the DEA and is accused of being part of a scam involving truckers. Chris Ingalls from our affiliate in Seattle brings us up to speed.
Here at the federal courthouse in Yakima, the feds accused Dr. Anna Elprin of distributing prescription drugs, some for her own personal use, and an unusual set of charges involving truck drivers who have no business being on the road. Before they climb behind the wheel, truck drivers need a doctor to sign off that they are physically capable of safely driving a big rig. If they lose their DOT medical card, they lose their commercial driver's license and their livelihood.
That's what keeps you working. You got to have it.
D. Dunphy couldn't pass his DOT physical in 2021 until he met Dr. Anna Elprin at her clinic in Ellensburg.
All I know is she sure helped me. These other Medi-Centers and stuff, they wouldn't pass me. But she always seemed to pass me.
Dunphy is diabetic, which could be a disqualifying condition for a trucker. In this indictment unsealed last week, federal agents say Dr. Elprin falsified commercial driver's licenses tests for a $150 fee. They say she illegally coached applicants, like how to lower a blood pressure reading, for instance.
Yeah, she'd come in and have me lay down and yawn for an hour and then drop my blood pressure 40 points. And then she'd give me my medical card.
Federal agents say Elprin also put drivers who couldn't pass vision or hearing tests on the road.
The priest of the weak health.
In 2022, we uncovered complaints from Elprin's staff to state regulators that she was drinking on the job and using drugs. The new indictment says since 2018, Elprin wrote prescriptions for drugs like hydrocodone for co-conspirators and for Elprin's own personal use.
Laser hair removal, sweets.
And in a hidden camera investigation, we revealed that Elprin wrote COVID vaccine waivers for a $200 fee. Patients showed this document to employers for exemption from COVID vaccine requirements.
Are you running a vaccine exemption mill here?
No.
Where you're taking payments and signing exemptions with no questions asked?
Absolutely not.
At a brief court appearance here in Yakima, a federal prosecutor asked the judge to keep Elprin behind bars, in part because of concerns she might obstruct the investigation. A hearing on that matter is scheduled for later this week.
Well, coming up next on the story, good news when it comes to the main pipeline for fuel in the Northwest. What BP is saying about the Olympic pipeline that runs from the Seattle area here to Portland. Plus, we take a look at gas prices as the Thanksgiving travel season gets underway. Think you can guess where gas is cheapest in the U.S. right now? Here's a hint. It's a state that starts with the letter O. That's next when the story returns. Well, good news today for all you Thanksgiving travelers. The Olympic pipeline, that's the main artery for fuel in the Northwest, was partially restarted today. Jet fuel is now flowing to SeaTac, but the pipe that carries gas remains down, according to Washington Senator Maria Cantwell. Now, we've followed this story since a leak was discovered near Everett, Washington earlier this month, shutting the whole thing down and prompting governors of both Oregon and Washington to declare emergencies in an effort to avoid fuel shortages around the busy holiday travel season. Okay, AAA tells us the source of the leak was finally found in the gas line after more than 200 feet of the pipe was dug up. No word yet on when that will be back up and running. This is the fourth major incident involving the pipeline since 2023. The last time the pipeline was down, back in September, Oregon gas prices spiked more than 30 cents a gallon. So far this time around, drivers have not seen prices jump that high due to the outage. Oregon is up a few cents over the last week or so at $3.82 a gallon for regular. And that's good for fourth highest in the entire country. Washington is third highest in the U.S. right now at $4.19 a gallon. Hawaii and California top the list around $4.50, and the national average is $3.06 a gallon. Okay, if you're wondering where gas is the cheapest in the U.S. right now, that crown goes to Oklahoma, where a gallon of regular gas is $2.50. Okay, let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Matt Safino now with a look at our holiday forecast. And Matt, you're tracking some snow in the Cascades?
In the Washington Cascades for sure, and I'm thinking about that last story. I wish gas was $2.50 a gallon. I can't remember the last time that it was. That would save us all a lot of money, right? Okay, there is a winter weather advisory in the Washington Cascades, but only through tomorrow morning. And even here, we'll get a few inches. That's it. The Oregon Cascades, no watches, no warnings, and really very little snow. The snow will be flying, though, in the northern Rockies. There's a winter storm warning up there around Glacier National Park. I'll show you how much they get in just a bit. Meanwhile, at Timberline, it's getting foggy because it's beginning to warm up. It's warmed up 2 degrees in the last hour, hour and a half, and it was snowing, about an inch of new snow. That's about all we're going to see. Look at Government Camp. That road is either bare or just wet. It's above freezing there at 34. A little bit of snow in the air at San Am Pass, but 34 degrees. The road is just wet. Same at Willamette Pass, nothing in the air and black pavement and above freezing. So travelers going over the Cascades in Oregon won't have any issues at all. And even in Washington, it's going to warm up a bit. Maybe up North Cascades, you might have a few issues. That's about it. Salem, 46 degrees and raining. And we got a lot of rain in the forecast, but really not very impactful weather for holiday travelers, which is a great thing. A lot of rain right now, but this will lighten up and break up, and we should have some dry time tomorrow morning. Rainfall so far, about 0.2 to 0.3 of an inch around the metro area. So our Thanksgiving headlines with that goofy turkey. I don't know, he's hiding in a tree.
Did you
probably.
Make that?
What's that?
Did you make that?
No.
Okay.
No, but
I was going to have comments, but
it looks like something I would make,
I'll
though.
refrain.
No, go ahead.
I don't love it.
I don't either. But it was Halloween-y. I mean, Thanksgiving-ish. So
we're doing well.
I always get these two. I always do that with Thanksgiving and Halloween. Anyway, rainy through Thursday. The Cascade Pass is just wet. Very minimal travel impacts, if at all. In fact, the biggest ones may come Saturday and Sunday morning simply because of valley fog in the morning. So all in all, doing pretty well. All the major airports around the country also doing well right now. But as the storm drops through the northern Rockies as we go into Friday, there it is. That's eventually going to move into the middle part of the U.S. and create kind of a mess. And so if you're traveling back to the west or to the east, but the East Coast airports Saturday and Sunday will probably have some issues, rain, thunderstorms, and snow to the north. But not for us. We have dry time in the morning, then it gets rainy in the afternoon. So we're actually in pretty good shape as one storm moves out. That next one comes in on Thanksgiving Day for more rain. Portland right now is rainy and 45 degrees, but it's really not that bad, and temperatures don't drop much overnight tonight. It'll be rainy, especially the middle part of the day. Rainy on Thursday for Thanksgiving, Blair, and then sun and showers Friday, and then it dries out after that, so a really great finish to the weekend. Are you cooking this weekend?
I am cooking, and it's a cozy day to cook with the rain.
Yeah, what are you going to make?
Turkey.
Big turkey?
Yeah, of course, an apple pie.
I'm sure it'll look better than the one I just showed in that graphic.
It definitely will. Okay, Matt, thanks.
You bet.
We're back right after this. Well, on this Thanksgiving week, the need for food is growing for seniors in the Northwest, with the Oregon Food Bank saying nearly 1 in 7 seniors in the state experience food insecurity. And social workers say many older people are uncomfortable reaching out for help. Libby Dowsett visited a center in Northeast Portland to see how they're getting seniors in the door.
Those at the Center for Positive Aging have turned Food Pantry Day into a lunch date for seniors.
You come in, you're welcome. You can eat lunch if you want to. You can get food if you want to.
Mel Bain has been lunching here and picking up food pantry items for his apartment for 2 years.
I didn't know anybody. I didn't do anything. My whole life was in that apartment. So I started coming over here because you're not supposed to be alone all the time.
He says he now knows everyone at his table by name.
There is no judgment. We're all old people and we're in the same bag here. We're trying to get by the best we can.
The center says poverty, isolation, and health disparities disproportionately impact older adults. And the need is even higher among older low-income, BIPOC, and immigrant communities.
If you've been self-sufficient and independent for so many years, nobody wants to say that they have that need. We want everybody to come and get what they need and feel comfortable and feel welcome.
Because one of the bad things of being old is being alone. I come here to have somebody to eat with.
That's important, right?
I know, yeah, mentally, you know.
I'm taken care of, you know, and I don't feel like it's just me on my own. I feel like it's all of us working together to make sure that people get enough to eat so they don't have to worry about it.
Now, if seniors can't find the food they want here, there's also an Asian food pantry on the second Thursday of every month right here. In Northeast Portland, Libby Dowsett, KGW News.
Well, that is the end of our show, folks. Thanks so much for watching. And don't forget, everyone has a story to tell. Have a great Tuesday night. I'll see you right back here tomorrow night at 6:30.